Hello, hello on this Sunday night, everybody. We are going to make a really cool winter wreath tonight. So tonight, I'm going to be using, we're going to make a winter wreath. We're going to make a farm house / horse winter wreath using leftover ribbons. So these are leftover ribbons I have kicking around that I've used probably in some of the kits. So I'm going to use these up. These are all 1.5 inch. And I'm using 1.5 inch because, where'd my mesh go? There it is. I am going to be using this gorgeous, look at this jute mesh. Woo! This is a fabric mesh. It's gorgeous. Black, white, natural, and red in it. Isn't that pretty? So we're going to be using this mesh tonight. I have the number somewhere. We're going to be, like I said, using these leftover ribbons. We are going to be using, now I had a whole bunch of these cedar sprays on the website. They are sold out. They were sold, I believe they got sold out through the sale. I'm also going to be using these red and white pip sprays. So we're making a winter wreath, not a Christmas wreath. So I'm going to be using these red and white pip sprays. So we're using red and white pips. We're using green cedar, and this green cedar, it's actually rubber. It's fantastic. It's rubber. Like I said, I had a whole bunch of it left. I had a whole bunch of it on the website through the sale. So hopefully you guys grabbed some. If not, if you want to recreate the wreath I'm making, you can use any kind of greenery. So I'm just using the cedar. Red and white pips. We may have some of those still on the site. They are FH784846. I love pips. And we are using this horse. It is metal, embossed horse head. We're going to winterize the horse. It's going to be so pretty, I think. So this horse head, there's a couple different horse heads like this, and there's a couple cow. So you may want to do a winter cow if you have a cow farm or know somebody that has a cow farm. This wreath will work perfect for horse, cow, pig, whatever. The number for this is MD126304. And this horse head is, how long is it? 14.5 inches by 12 inches. Okay, we're going to get down to it because if I don't get it soon, my back is going to give out to me. So we're going to go down to the board. I am using the ring board, okay? Using the ring board. And I am using, these are the tinsel. These are tinsel coils. Where's the red one? I've already used some of it, so half of it was gone already. So I've already used half of it for another project. I wanted to see. I'll show you what it looks like. Here's the red one. So it comes, these are fabulous. They're thicker than pipe cleaners, but they're not as thick as the PVC tinsel ties. So it comes coiled like this, and you can cut it. The nice thing about coming coiled like this, you can cut it any size you want. So you're not wasting so much, because if you get the individual PVC stems, which are nice as well, they're 12 inches long. So what I've done is I'm using the natural coiled one, and I've cut mine 10 inches, I believe. Yeah, 10 inches long. That way you get more bang for your buck, right? So on the outside row, you're going to need, I'm using 8 pieces of this gorgeous mesh. And the mesh number is, it's a 10.5 inch wide stripe fabric mesh. Black, white, natural, and red. and the number's RY8342. Isn't it like, it's like perfect for any kind of farmhouse. Anyways, I'm doing 8 pieces of this on the outside row, row 1, at 16 inches. And then we'll go in the inner row, 8 pieces at 14 inches. And then we'll only be using half the roll. So you'll have another half a roll, because these will make fabulous ruffles if you're doing some poofs or another wreath. Okay, so what I've done is I have the ring board here, and on the outside row, row 1, I'm taking my 10-inch piece. So I just cut it. Just take one of my pieces, and we're just going to cut it. You can cut it with wire nippers. You can even cut it with scissors, like dull scissors. Don't use your ribbon scissors. And this one's 10 inches. I'm just going to butt it up. And you need 16 of these. And then just cut it. So you need 16 of these at 10 inches. So you use pretty much half the coil, okay? And then we're going to go every other one. You're going to go the first hole on row 1 down to the outside of the board. Okay? I can't zoom in too much more. Alrighty, so we did, I'll flip it over. So we did 1, skip the row, 1, skip a row, 1, all the way around row 1. Okay, so we're going to work on row 1 first. So once you get your 8 PVCs or pipe cleaners or zip ties, whatever you want to use, you're going to take your 16-inch piece of mesh. All right, this is the 16-inch piece. I'm just going to do a straight old ruffle. So you're going to have it curl down the factory edges to the left and the right side of you. And fortunate enough that this has a nice stripe already in the middle. So we're just going to pinch and drag, pleat. So you can see how I'm pinching and sliding. Pinch and slide. Pinch and slide to make a ruffle. All right. We're going to take where we pinched right in the middle. Put the middle right on the board in between the 2 PVC stems or pipe cleaners or whatever you use, zip ties, whatever you're using. Okay, I push down kind of in the middle and give it a half a twist. But I like to have, for the outside pieces, I like to have the ruffle going towards the outside. See how it makes it look so much bigger. So we went from 15.5 inches to 26 inches. Just by having our ruffles kind of going towards the outside. Oops, this one, twist, there we go. All right, so I did cut my ribbons. I have to cut more. I have 4 different ribbons here. Like I said, they're very neutral ribbons. These are just extra ribbons I had open. You're gonna need, I'm using 8 pieces for the whole wreath. 8 pieces of each ribbon. So 8 pieces of this one, 8 of this one, 8 of that one, and 8 of that one at 14 inches. Okay, so I cut most of them already. So I think I have 4 more of this. This is an Argyle glitter. I love this. This is one of my favorites. So I'm going to take my measure buddy. I pulled it out to 14 inches. Put the end of my ribbon. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Like I said, you need 8 of each ribbon. Now you don't have to use 4 different ones. You could just use like a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch. I just happen to have these 4 open and I just want to kind of use it up. I'm going to cut the ends like that. Then we're going to fold it in lengthwise. And we're going to cut from the folded edge or the bias to the outside corner. All right, and that'll give you your dovetail. And then we're going to do it again on the other side. So like I said, you're going to do this for all the ribbons you're using. So whether it's 2, 4, 3, whatever. I was going to use this horse ribbon, but like I said, I was trying to, because we do have the horse ribbon, but I'm trying to use up ribbons that are already open. So the horse ribbon's nice, but it won't be missed, if I don't use it. So we'll save it. And then I'm going to fold my ribbons in half. So I'm kind of making my little packets. So I'm putting the Argyle white with the black diagonal stripe. I'm going to do that packet. And then I put the black and tan rickrack with just a tan and white checker. Okay, so the ribbons are not Christmassy or wintry. We're going to make it wintry by adding some of this cedar greenery and pips, the red and white pips. My nose is running. Gosh, I hope I don't get sick. Okay, so once you got your ribbons all cut and you got your mesh on your board, what you're going to do, if you're going to be using greenery, I'm going to pull my greenery and my pips apart. So you got a stem or a spray like this. I like to pull them apart because then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces on this. So if you just take it and you can just like rip it, pull it right off the stem, because the wrapping going around it, it's just paper, like a paper tape. Oh, there we go. So I pull those off and just throw that big wire stem. Okay, so there's our greenery. I'll put this in a pile. This feels so cool. It's like, it looks so real, but it's rubber. Cool, eh? It's cool. Cool. All right, and then we're going to pull apart one of these, or a couple of these sprays of pips. I'm going to do the same thing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we got 7 pips, and they're a fairly good size. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stems on each little piece of pip. So that's great, really nice and full. And you know what? I love pips because they're not expensive. They're fairly cheap. So I like to use them. It adds that little touch of color when you need it. So I usually always have pips in stock. All right. So we got our greenery ready, our red and white pips, our ribbons ready, and let's get our sign ready. So this horse head's pretty big. There is an alligator or a saw-tooth clip on the back already. So we are going to use this sawtooth clip. I am going to take, no, this is not a kit. This is just me using leftover supplies and stuff you wouldn't normally use for a winter kit, but we're going to make it winter. Okay, so I put a pipe cleaner here, and I'll probably put my horse like just kind of in the middle of my wreath like that. You can put it to the side, and if you put it to the side, then you don't have to use as much mesh and ribbons and everything. But for tonight, I am going to put it in the center. And then I'm going to put a little hole with my, my metal hole punch. Just at the bottom. I just got to see where I'm going to put it. Okay. So there's the top. So the horse is going to kind of go like that. So I'm going to put the hole right about here. And I just get this, it's just a tiny little hole punch. I get this on Amazon, I got it. It's fairly inexpensive. I think it was maybe 10 bucks. But it punches a little teeny tiny hole, which is great because it's just big enough to put a pipe cleaner through it. Just like that. All right, now our sign is ready to go when we're ready to put it on. So I'll just put that to the side. Okay, so we have our mesh on. Next step I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting the greenery. I got quite a bit of greenery here. I think what I'm going to do is 2 pieces, 1 piece, 2 pieces, 1 piece. That's what I'm going to do. Now, like I said, I have quite a bit of this cedar here in my workshop here, so. And then you're going to take one of the pips and we'll just cut it down a bit. Okay, I'm just going to open this up a little bit. I'm going to put 1 piece of the greenery going one way, the other piece going this way, and this is an awesome way to use greenery and sprays and everything without having to glue everything in. Okay, then I'm going to take a pip and put it right on top here, just like that. Isn't that pretty? And then we're going to take our ribbon tails, pinch it, make sure they're even, pinch it up the middle. So I want to push that down. Okay, and then we're going to put our ribbons right on top. Push it, kind of push it down in the middle so there's when we twist, there's a nice tight twist. All right, and there we go. We'll open these ribbons up after we're finished, and then we can move the greenery around. Now, if you don't want to have just your greenery and pips in with just a twist tie, you can add some glue right at the bottom here. But what I was thinking is, if you're making this for a gift, and say it's somebody that has horses, and you're making it for a gift, and if you want them to use it all season long, if you don't glue the greenery and the pips in, you can tell them after the winter to pull out the greenery and pips, and then they'll have just a plain horse wreath with beautiful ribbons. Now, it'll be a little more difficult to pull them out if you glue it, but it still is doable. All right, so again, we're going to open the twist, and this one I'm just going to put 1 piece of greenery, because we're going to, on the inner, we'll do the opposite. So I'm just going to put 1. Actually, I like the 2. Never mind. I'm putting 2 in each. I have lots of it. It's going to be pretty. So we're making a winter wreath without using winter ribbons. How's that? like I said at the beginning, these are all just leftover ribbons that I had from probably previous kits that I've done. Push down, and that's just to give you a tight, and then just, you can tuck these in. You don't even have to cut them. So it's really easy to add greenery and stuff to any of your wreaths. Even the dollar store has some pretty nice greenery that you can pop into a wreath. And you can see I'm doing opposite. So I did the argyle and diagonal, and then the rickrack and check. Then I'll do argyle and diagonal. Now, if you're using zip ties, you would just zip tie in your mesh and then go back and I've done it quite a few times, go back and zip tie your greenery and ribbons in. But push down in the center of everything, like I said, to get that nice tight twist. Give it half a twist so your PVCs or your pipe cleaner are now going this way to put your ribbons on. And there you go, easy peasy. Yeah, I just cut them at 16, and then the inner ones I'm going to cut at 14. And that'll give us about half a roll of mesh we used. So you'll have another half a roll if you need to use it for another wreath, because this will be fabulous for double doors. You needed to make 2 of them. So you'll just need 1 roll of mesh. And then you'll have enough ribbon too, with 1 roll of ribbon of each. And like I said, you don't have to use 4. I'm just using 4 because they're open and they all matched. But you could do this, like I said, with the cow one. There's a cow head. Two different cow heads, and we have 2 different horse ones. 2 different cow ones that are have the shape and are embossed. So we have the black and white and the brown and white in the cow, and then we have the 2 different horses. Okay, we're going to go into the inner row, and then we'll move all our ribbons and greenery and all that stuff around once we get everything on. Okay, so where I'm going on the inner is in between the row. I'm just going to trim this down. Of the outer. So we went here and here, we're going to go right here. So when you're using these tinsel ties, you want to go down with the grain of the tinsel, not against it. So you're gonna, the tinsel is going up this way, so I'm gonna go down like that so it goes in nice and smooth. Okay, I need to cut some more mesh. I need 8 more pieces. Now I'm going to do the next 8 pieces at 14 inches. because the inner row, the diameter is smaller. Leftovers, gotta love leftovers. Okay, so 14 inches. So 28, 14, so that's 2. See, look how much mesh we got left over. So enough for a whole nother wreath. All right, so we are going to add our mesh just like we did the other one, the 16-inch. Put it right in front of you with the factory edges on your left and right. Pinch and slide right up the middle, just like that. And where you've pinched in the middle, we're going to put that right on the board in between the two PVC twists, okay? And then just twist it. And then we're going to skip the row. So when you skip, once you start the one, you just skip a row and go in every other, and it will be in between, the row in between the two outer ones. Push down in the center and give it half a twist. So I made 2 wreaths with this one coil of PVC stem, and I cut them at 10 inches. So you definitely get more bang for your buck when you can cut them yourself. Or you can, use the 12-inch ones. They're just as good. 12-inch ones are a little bit thicker, but these are much better wire than a pipe cleaner. Okay, so we're going to open that. One, I just kind of cross them in there. But the greenery in the pips make it wintry without having to use wintry ribbons. Okay, push down. Give it a half a twist. And we're going to come in with our ribbons. I'm going to trim this just so it doesn't stick out. Put a little bit of glue there. And then just take our twists. Now you can cut the twists off or just tuck them in. Or you can put balls on the end of them if you want, depending what kind of wreath you're making. Try not to put them in too far. I'm doing this upside down so you guys can see. So you can give it a nice tight twist, and then if you want for the inner ones, you can just snip them off and then push them in this way. Okay, a couple more, and then we're done. Put that horse head on. Last one. That went pretty fast, considering we have a lot of greens and everything in here. So pushing down in the middle so we can get that nice tight twist. Tuck that in. Cut any of the stems that are kind of sticking out. Push back. Okay, now I'm going to put the horse head on before I start fooling around with the ribbon tails, because they'll all get jacked up anyways once I start putting the horse head on. So we'll put our hanger on. Wow, I made that fast. That was like 40 minutes, not even. Okay, so let's flip it over. So there's our back. So you can see the 8 on the outside row, row 1, and then the 8 on the inner. And you can see any little wires. Not that it matters, because like I said, if you have a sign or whatever, it's going to cover all this, but we'll just clean it up anyways. Okay, so there's our top right here. You can see the 2 holes. I'm going to get a zip tie, and I'm just going to use a zip tie to go down and bring it back up. There we go. There's our hanger. Okay, and then I'm going to put the horse head. Where is the horse head? So we want the horse. I'm going to put the horse, the bottom there, and the top of the horse where the ears are, right in the very center here. So I'll be going these 2 holes right here, and then these 2 holes right here. I just want the horse head to kind of sit like that, right? I don't want it straight like that. I want it kind of in its natural right there, like it naturally tilted, okay? All right. Okay, so I'm gonna take my top pipe cleaner where I've used the alligator clamp there, and I'm just gonna separate. You can just separate the mesh. See, you'll see the number 2 right there. That is the very center of the wreath, and that's where I want the top of my horse head to go. So I'm just going to go down one hole, down the other hole, so that gives me the perfect center. Okay, now I'm not going to put, I'm just going to give it a light twist until I get the other one on. Okay, so I just give it a nice light twist in the back. And then it's going to go, it's going to kind of sit like this. And it's going to kind of go right like that. So I'm just going to, again, part my mesh. It's going to go right in between, right there. So not directly down the center. So this would be the center, but it's going right on these 2 holes right there. So I'm just kind of parting. And then you can see the 2 holes are right there, and we're going to go down them. And that's why I didn't do any ribbon things yet. And fix my ribbons because it's going to get all messy. All right, now we can pull it down. We want to make sure our ribbons and everything, before we pull anything down, that nothing is stuck underneath your sign. And we're going to move the greenery for that one. And then we're going to pull it down. Okay. So I just pull it until I feel some resistance and give it a twist in the back. Okay? And we'll move, like I said, the moving of the ribbons and the greeneries and everything, that's going to take more time, I think, than making the actual wreath. And now I'll just pull. We want to make sure, again, that our ribbons and everything are not stuck under. There we go. And now I can give it a nice pull. Beautiful. Okay, so you can see I'm just pulling it. I can feel some resistance, just a little bit of resistance, and give it a twist on the back. And before I start the ribbons again, I'm going to cut these down, and I'm going to put them back down the hole so we can keep that back of our wreath neat and nothing sharp on it, okay? Alrighty. Ooh, that's pretty, is it not? Oh my gosh. All right, so now, oh, you know what I want to do? I have a little, where did I put it? I have a little piece of holly. Now you can even use some greenery, but I want to cover up that pipe cleaner there. Where'd my little piece of holly go? Oh, right here. It's just like a dollar store piece of holly. I'm just going to cut it down and just kind of put it in the hole. It'll fit. Maybe not. It's not big enough. Just slip it. When in doubt, I'm going to slip it under the pipe cleaner. We are crafters. We always come up with some way. So it's just slipped it under the pipe cleaner, and then I'll just kind of bend it up. So we've got a little bit of holly. Again, you can pull all these out. You may not want to, but you can pull all these greens and pips and everything out. If your person you're giving it to doesn't want a winter wreath. All right, so you're gonna move your greeneries around. We'll start with the first row. Okay, you're gonna separate your ribbons. And this is really important when you're making a wreath. This is probably more important when you're making a wreath than the actual wreath making. You want to make sure that your ribbon tails are, nicely placed, that your greenery is primped and everything, because that is the basic overall look of your wreath. And if it looks sloppy, like your tails are like curled under and, like this, and, these are like that, your wreath is just not going to look as good as it can. You want to take that time, okay, and spread and pull the greenery up so you can see it. And so doing rickrack, the check, and bring up this greenery. Now it's glued and it's tied in, so don't be scared to give it a little tug here and there. But you see how I've got the rickrack and then the check, and then we're going to make these pips, nice. You can spread them apart, and then rickrack, check, and then the top I got the diagonal and the argyle. And the diagonal and the argyle. So I'm separating them so you see each ribbon piece. So you're going to have to do that for every set of tails. And I can't even stress how important it is to do that. When we're in doing wreath critique and unique wreath creators, we really go to town on our creatives in there, because it's so important. That is important in a good background photo. If you're selling your wreaths, the picture and everything is what's going to sell your wreath. You have to have good pictures. And to have good pictures, your wreath has to be nicely made. Makes a big difference. See what a difference it is already, and I haven't even gone around it yet. You can even take, I call them scissor fingers. You can kind of pull your ribbon tail with your scissor fingers and give it just a bit of a curl. See how that kind of went like that instead of straight up? So you don't have like spider legs, I call them. So I have rickrack, check, rickrack, check, rickrack, check. Then we have the diagonal. And there we go. So that's the first row. Could put a bow down here if you wanted to, down at the bottom of the horse. I just think the holly that's good enough. All right, and then you're gonna go around and you're gonna do the outside row just like you did the inside row, okay? You're gonna take the time and pull your ribbon tails, move around your greenery, move around your pips or whatever you're using, make it pretty. Now, I will do that. I'm not going to do it on the live here. My back, I got to go because my back is pretty much done. But I'm going to do the exact same thing I just did on row 1 with my tails and everything and my greens and stuff. I'm going to do the exact same thing on row 2. So I'm going to make it all pretty and everything. All right, and there we go. We have a beautiful farm or horse winter wreath. It will fit between 2 doors. We used a half a roll of our mesh. So like I said, if you have double doors, you have enough to make another one. Just grab 2 signs. Or if you have a farm, grab a horse sign and a cow sign and use the same ribbons. You will have enough ribbon. We have more than half a roll of ribbon. So if you use 4 ribbons, you'll have most definitely enough to make a whole another wreath. Alrighty. So if you have any questions, you can contact our customer service. And this is, let's see how it ended up being, about 28 inches. So we went from a 15-inch frame, which is a very, look, this is not even bending. A very good, sturdy frame. You would not be able to hold a wire one or a wood one like I am right now. So this is well made. And it's weather resistant. It's not going to break. The back is still nice and neat. Even though I used tinsel, it's still, there's nothing sharp. It's a very well made wreath. And it looks like we have a lot of supplies in there. And you guys just watched me. We don't. Right? That's the beauty of Unique in the Creek Wreath Boards, is you use half the supplies you would with any other wreath frame. So, alrighty. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you make something on our Unique in the Creek boards, please post it in Unique Wreath Creators. That is our sister group. It is a fabulous group. No drama in there. It's a wonderful group. Everybody posts their stuff in there, and if you have questions, people will actually answer them. They're really nice people in there. There's about 26,000 members in there, and everybody shares. So it's really pretty fabulous. So it's called Unique Wreath Creators, and you'll definitely, if you were inspired by my wreaths, you'll definitely be inspired in Unique Wreath Creators. Bye, everybody.